Hello guys, Crispy here and welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce... No, it's not a GeForce. It's a Radeon RX 570 8GB model in Hogwarts Legacy. This one is the Asrock Phantom Gaming version of the card. We are running it with the latest AMD drivers as usual, and I'm not manually overclocking it, just leaving it at stock speeds. This comes already overclocked out of the box, by the way. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power Up's GPU Z. It has 2048 shading units, 8GB of GDDR5, and it released back in 2017. Over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 7 5700G and 16GB of RAM to avoid CPU bottlenecks, and let's get right into it, shall we? First up, let's go over the settings. We're playing at 1080p native resolution with TAA on low at the moment, no FSR, but I'm going to test some FSR2 in this video, and these are the settings down here. Over on the advanced settings, we're using the recommended preset for this card, which is the low settings preset. Interestingly, because I've seen other cards like the 1066GB recommending medium settings, and this is not too far off of that. I'm also going to test higher settings, by the way, and we're starting this off in Hogsmeade. This area is usually way more CPU intensive than it is GPU intensive, but a lot of people like me to test it here, so let's start here and then go to a more GPU intensive area. Yeah, all right, there we go. That's some beautiful magic and bugs. In a normal game, those would be bugs, you know? Anyway, let's continue here. You know what I'm noticing a lot in these videos, guys? The AMD GPUs are a little bit more stable. Was that a burp? What? That was a huge burp, dude. Congratulations, man. That was really impressive, actually. But yeah, the AMD GPUs seem to be a little bit more stable. That frame time graph isn't as bad as the other NVIDIA GPUs that I tested so far. Although the GTX 970 was also really stable and smooth. So it just depends, I guess. Maybe if you have a slight bit of a CPU bottleneck with higher-end GPUs, basically, it might start to stutter a bit more. So let's get out of Hogsmeade now, get our broom out, and see the FPS near the water, because this is where the RX 580 just got wrecked, and the 570, well, it's pretty much the same thing. We were seeing close to 60 frames per second on Hogsmeade, and now it's dropping into the lower 40s, even mid-30s. Look at that, 35 FPS. Damn, yeah, the water is definitely the FPS killer in the RX 500 series GPUs and 400 series as well, because they share the same architecture, basically. Yeah, that's a bit concerning. Like, the GTX 970 is older than this. That was a massive spike there. And it actually didn't drop too much near water, interestingly enough. Like, how? I guess the game is probably better optimized to run on the NVIDIA stuff. But again, the NVIDIA stuff also stutters a little bit more. Could be because of driver overhead. I don't know. Maybe now I get why they recommend low settings. They're probably aware that these GPUs drop a ton of FPS near water, and on medium settings it would probably drop from 30 frames per second, since it's already on the mid-30s, you know? Alright, as I told you, in forest areas it's also very GPU bound. As you can see, it's getting way less FPS than in Hogsmeade, and if you guys see lower FPS in Hogsmeade than anywhere else, it's just because you have a CPU bottleneck. Around here, it's actually going up. It's interesting that in the Dark Forest, where you should be afraid of things, you know, it gets more FPS than outside of here. It's very interesting. Like, if it dropped from 30 here, that would be scary, right? Alright, okay, let's stop it there now. Can you stop moving? Thank you very much, Crispy Potter. And let's go ahead and play with some FSR. Let's see how much it drops now with this setting enabled. The good thing about FSR2 in this game is that it actually sharpens up the image a little bit, so it ends up looking very similar to native resolution, if not slightly better, because the TAA implementation in this game is kind of terrible, honestly. So let's start counting the frames here. Oh yes, 69 FPS on average right away. That's what I like to see. Perfect. Should we go down here and fight these guys? Yeah, why not? You know, let's try to do that. Come on, let's go. There we go. X. Nice. Oh boy, we disintegrated that guy. Well, let's throw rocks at him. There we go. Expelliarmus. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Good job. Good job. This is too easy, my friends. Too easy. Incendio. Oh, yes. Burn in hell, Bob. Go to hell. There we go. Very good. Very good. All right. What am I seeing? I'm seeing a ton of red dots. Oh, those are spiders. There it is. Oh. Oh, some very tiny spiders as well. I don't like to kill them, actually, guys. I have a lot of empathy towards spiders. I like them. They protect us from those mosquitoes, the pesky freaking mosquitoes that I hate so much. Oh, that was actually very sad, you know. We killed a bunch of spiders. They were just chilling here in their house, and I feel bad now. I actually do feel bad now. Okay, I actually do not know where I am going, so I'm gonna go up into the sky. Oh, there we go. Hogwarts is in that direction, so I kind of want to check it out near Hogwarts, because I know the FPS drop a lot there, and there's water and stuff. Okay, back to a more intensive area. Still getting 69 on average. That is actually pretty amazing. Okay, near the water. It's not dropping as much. Not into the 40s at least, although the frame time gets a little bit wrecked sometimes. But overall, this is a pretty smooth experience now with FSR. Yeah, not bad. Those previous frame drops were very, very noticeable near water. You know, you could feel the slowdown a lot. But now with FSR2 on quality, it's not noticeable anymore. Most of the time, it's above 50 frames per second down here. Yeah, it drops down into the higher 40s, but no mid-30s anymore. So this is quite an enjoyable experience for sure. Honestly, if you want to play on low settings, it's probably because you want a smooth-ish experience, right? So I think these are the settings to go with. FSR on quality, low settings, and 1080p. It still looks pretty good, you know. I mean, I wouldn't really say these are low settings from a game if I didn't know. Kind of looks like medium, I would say. But you can definitely enjoy this game with the RX 570. Even though it has some issue with the water, enabling FSR just solves that, and it's great now. Let's go back to native 1080p resolution. TAA, I'll keep that on low for medium settings, and we are gonna select the medium settings preset. This is it. I'm gonna restart the game just to make sure that everything applies. Oh boy! Oh, look at that! 30 frames flat right there. If I move this around more... No, it's not dropping? Okay, that's interesting. I think it will drop from 30 FPS, right? It needs to. Because it was really bad at low settings, and medium settings are way more intensive than low in this game. Honestly, if you stay away from water, it should be fine. Yeah, look at this, flying around the vegetation area right here. It's not too bad. It has a lot more vegetation than it did previously, though, that's for sure. Yep, that's impressive. Oh no, 24! Why is it so intensive down here? This isn't even running water. I've seen the NVIDIA cards also drop a little bit near water, not as much as these, obviously. These have some weird problem for sure. But when the NVIDIA cards dropped, were near like waterfalls and stuff like that, running water rivers, basically. Not stale water like this one. And this is dropping a lot here. Whoa, look at that. Especially when we sprint. Also, I'm seeing a lot of ghosting around my character right now. I wonder if FSR is actually enabled? Because sometimes this game will enable FSR and say that it is disabled for some reason. It's pretty weird. So I'm just going to select that, get it up to like 42 sharpness there. And no, FSR is definitely different looking, and it's getting way more performance than previously. So yeah, it wasn't really using FSR, but something weird was happening, maybe TAA related or something like that. Yeah, I could see a lot of ghosting, and now with FSR, there's like motion blur. But anyway, let's check out that water area once again, see how much it drops there. Right here, we were getting like, what, 35, 36 FPS. Now we're getting 10 more frames using FSR on quality, so that's really good. And let's see down the river over here. Remember, it actually did drop into like the mid-20s previously near the water here. And now, it is barely dropping from 30 FPS to like 39, 38 at times. That is crazy. That is a big improvement coming from FSR2 here with the 570. Look at this. This is where it dropped to 24 frames per second. Cinematic frame rate, you know. And it's barely dropping from 40 frames per second. That's crazy. The improvement, like if you have a 500 series GPU, make sure to play this game with FSR2 on quality enabled, because otherwise it's going to be a really bad experience because there's something weird going on, basically. Let's try it out in Hogsmeade. I'm curious to see if it stutters a bit more here, because it was definitely way more inconsistent now on medium settings than it was on low. Probably because we are mostly below 60 frames right now, but yeah, look at this. It touches 60 at times, actually. Pretty nice. And here we are. Ooh, yeah, okay, that frame time now is kind of a bit crazier, isn't it? It was pretty smooth, like smoother than average at low settings, but here on medium it just gets wrecked. I'll say this, if you want to play on medium settings, lock your FPS in RivetTuner Statistics Server, which is what I am using to count the FPS and show the on-screen display and stuff like that. Or in the Radeon settings. I'm not sure if that will work properly, but I know that RTSS actually works very well in this game. If you lock it to 30 there or 35, like the minimums didn't really reach 35 here, so you're fine locking it at 35 and getting a bit extra smoothness. Yeah, do that and the game will be almost buttery smooth. That frame time will be flat instead of spiky all over the place, and you'll still see some stuttering issues here and there, especially flying around different parts of the map and stuff while loading things, but the overall experience will be much smoother. So I definitely recommend you to lock your FPS if you're playing like this. And that's it for medium settings. Let's try it out on high. For high settings, I set the TAA to high, which is a bit more intensive than TAA on low, as you can see there. Okay, 56, 57 FPS on low and 51 on high. And everything else is, of course, set to the high settings. Now, high settings do look incredible in this game, though. I gotta say that. If you have something like a 3060, 3060 Ti, 2070 maybe, something along those lines, I would actually recommend high settings, even if the FPS drop a bit from 60, because they do look way better than medium, especially the lighting at night with the torch and stuff. Yeah, that looks insanely good. But yeah, here with the RX 570, it's not a good idea, obviously, guys. It's getting drops into the 20s already, and we're not even in a very intensive scenario, of course. I'm not sure where the river is at. Oh, I see it in the map now. Okay, it's this way. There we go. Oh, be ready, guys, for the cinematic experience. Oh my god, that is crazy bad. Okay, so obviously nobody should play this game with a 570 on high settings, at least not without FSR, right? Ooh, dropping from 20 frames per second. That is insane. No, don't revalue anything. Just stop, thank you. Wow. The fact that you can still fly around, though, on high settings with the 570 is okay. You can still take screenshots and stuff like that, but it gets really rough. It's not playable, I would say. So let's try it with FSR2 on quality. 42 sharpness. I think 42 sharpness might actually be better than like 35 sharpness in this game. But anyway, let's go. Okay. We didn't get as big of a jump in performance compared to the previous settings using FSR, guys. Yeah, still dropping from 30 frames per second. Let's see if it drops from 20, though. Yeah, okay. Going upstream, here we go. Not too bad. Okay. Now it is too bad, actually. I mean, most of the time, if you stay away from water again, guys, it will probably get 30 plus, so it's not completely awful, but yeah, no, okay, it even drops here. Don't do this, even if it only drops 1 FPS from 30. Let's try it with balanced FSR, though, because I've seen a lot of people telling me that they are playing this game with balanced FSR at 1080p, and this could be playable. All right, 30s, 40s even. I can see a lot more noise in the image, but I am using a 42-inch monitor. It's extremely big, and I can tell all of those imperfections in the image caused by the upscaling. But, you know, I like to see all of that, so I can report on that. But on a smaller monitor, it won't really be as noticeable. Still, even using balanced DLSS, it drops from 30 frames at times. So it's not great. Oh no, it still drops even here. We're far away from water and it's still dropping, guys. Do not play on high settings with the RX 570. Stick to medium. I think that was pretty good with FSR, or if you want the smoothest experience, of course, use some FSR on low. Lastly, just for fun, can we actually get 30 plus? I'm gonna try Ultra Performance FSR 2. Curious to see how it looks. Oh my, that looks really good. No, that's really good. I said really good. I'm stupid. I was gonna say, that looks really bad. Oh, it probably messed up with my brain, you know? You should not play like this, otherwise it's not gonna work properly, your head, anymore, okay, my friends? Alright, that's been it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It still drops close to 30 FPS. It touched 30, actually. Again, don't play on high, just forget it. And Ultra, leave that alone. Alright, guys. Thanks very much for watching again. See you in the next one very soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.